Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. We're going to talk about Vechain, and one of their partnerships has finished the pilot project and is actually rolling out. So we could be getting pretty close on other projects as well. Remember, many of these projects on Vechain were partnered a couple of years ago or a couple of months ago, and some of them are finally rolling out. So we actually might see mass utility in the future. I mean, this is just one company, but they've largely extended Vechain on their suite of products, and we might see this more and more on other partnerships as well. This is from a DNVGL reporting. So my story in LaFiamante to tell the story of the products in a transparent and immediate way. After the successive pilot project on tomato pulp, ICAB SPA LaFiamante extends to all processed products of the filial application of my story, DNVGL's digital assurance solution that certifies the transparency and quality. Thanks to the QR code displayed on the label, which allows access to data recorded on the blockchain, it will be possible to trace the story of LaFiamante products, knowing the entire production process, from the fields to canning, and guaranteeing the consumer accurate and verified products. So essentially, like, they did a pilot project on tomato pulp, and now they're going to extend it to all their processed products. And you can just see that this is like one partnership that's finally come into fruition. It's taken a while, but I think a lot of other projects are getting ready to come to fruition. Remember, like with DHL, with any of these big companies, these pilot projects take a long time. So the DHL stuff with the NFTs might take a year or so or several months before DHL will roll it out to more and more of their products. Like, I believe this is just a company with a few $1 million in terms of revenue or profits. So even for a small company, they ran this pilot for a couple of months before they actually rolled it out. And if you want to know more about the company, it's at LaFiamante.com. So they're a canned goods company. So they're a leader of canned food that goes along for over 50 years, pointing to growth and novelty production without neglect its history and its relationship with the retailer and consumer. The company refers to the ICAB SPA group, manufacturing and distributing 3 historical brands, LaFiamante, Pisana, and La Reale. So there's still more room for expansion on this particular company because they have 3 brands. They're using it with LaFiamante. They might actually expand it to Pisana and La Reale because they're all kind of managed by the same company, which undoubtedly represent the can history made in Italy. So I haven't heard too much of this company. I don't know how big they are because I'm in the United States. They do have an international presence, but I think they're mainly in Italy. So obviously, since I'm not Italian, I don't live in Italy. I've never really seen this company, but I think they only have a couple $1 million in revenue. Still pretty good that it's rolled out to the entire companies. And it gives me hope that, a lot of this stuff like Shanghai Gas Energy, that one's going to take a couple years longer. And these bigger companies, which have piloted stuff with Vechain, are actually getting pretty close to rolling out. Because remember, this one piloted Vechain just a couple of months ago, and they're rolling out full force on their products on Vechain Tour. And that's very good news. Now, a lot of these other projects, Walmart's basically been rolling out this entire time in Sam's Club. But a lot of these other projects that were partnered, like some of the food stuff from like Norway, Sweden, and some of the other stuff in China and Europe, they're probably still running their pilots. And for bigger companies, it's going to take a lot longer than a company like LaFiamante. Like LaFiamante, a couple $1 million in revenue. When you get up to like the tens of millions, hundreds of millions, billions of dollars in revenue, those pilots can be multi-year pilots. They have to make sure everything works right before they actually debut. But this just goes to show that, you have to wait and you have to have patience. Vechain has actually been performing quite well over the last couple of days. I mean, it's not like skyrocketed up, but it's actually moved up a few ranks. It's now number 21. If you take out the 3 stable coins, it's like really number 18. So it's a top 20 coin, up 4.87 in the last 24 hours, up to 13.5 now, while Bitcoin's really been fluctuating the last couple of days. So it's gaining some ground. I think some of these partnerships are finally coming to light. Sonny Lou's like doing some tours, making some speeches, hopefully getting more partnerships. And, a lot of the stuff with like foods in Italy, throughout Europe, and throughout China, I think more and more of it's coming to fruition, and you will see more utility on the chain. Now, that doesn't mean like utility is really going to drive up the price of the chain. Remember, they did that 99x reduction in terms of VTHO burn cost last year. So it'll be quite a long time before the utility, unless they have like exponential growth soon, utility actually kicks up on the price. And when utility actually kicks on the price, that will be really big. But as more of these guys come on board, as people see more and more burn, I do think people will FOMO into stuff like this. This is like real industrial use on an actual use case, not really just speculation or theoretical use. But another company has gone fully live with VeChain, and I expect a lot more to do so. And I do think like within the next year or two, you'll see like mass adoption and mass usage utility of VeChain. So I think it's getting much closer, especially if you have the patience to wait. And I do think VeChain will do pretty well, like we have another bull run. So that is the news for the day. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you, and have a nice day.